You need to start putting your trust in God. Because the life that you're desiring to live, you're continuously chasing desires, you're continuously chasing money, you're going to drive yourself insane. I used to be just like you, where I was chasing numbers, I was chasing desires, I was chasing worldly things, and I was constantly fucking my head up. I would doom scroll all day, comparing my life to other people, living the life that I wanted to live, and it was draining, bro. I'm telling you, if you just start following the teachings that I tell you to teach or do, wake up at 5 in the morning. Put your trust in God. Walk in faith and not by sight. And you actually start focusing on becoming the best version of you. Physically, mentally, spiritually. The finances are going to come in. I promise you. Listen, I was broke as fuck working at Jersey Mike's literally just 5 years ago. And I started putting my trust in God at my lowest points in life and even at my highest points in life. And I'm telling you, God has moved mountains for me. He has changed my life in ways that doesn't even make sense. Does that make sense to you? Like, I'm making close to 6 figures a month, not from hard work. I'm at the beach right now, chilling, enjoying my life. That is what life is meant to be. It's not being a fucking laptop 24/7, banging your head, trying to figure out how am I gonna make cash? How am I gonna make money? It's about living your life to the fullest, putting your trust in God, and fulfilling God's purpose that He has for you. That is what it's about. It's not about just chasing numbers and chasing a bag. It's about chasing the man that you are meant to be. And everything will flow in abundance. Everything will flow with high frequency. And everything will flow with a high vibration. When I am traveling, when I'm doing things that I love and enjoy, when I'm at the beach and I'm enjoying my life, is when I'm such in flow states that the money just comes in naturally. I'll be at the beach chilling and I'll get a DM randomly. Yo, bro, I want to sign up for coaching. Boom, make a sale on the beach. I have a peptide company. I'm chilling. I go live for a little bit. Boom, get 10 sales. Like, it's not by just being in my room locked in. See, a lot of you guys want to just chase a bag and you're not putting in the work in the right ways. Be in a routine, lock in, and follow God's plan. Open up the Bible and read Proverbs. I'm telling you, it is life-changing. It'll show you that wisdom and understanding is the way. And it shows you that if you put your trust in God as a businessman, and you put your business in God's hands, everything will transform. Everything will change. And it all makes sense once you do it. And I'm telling you, it's just complete facts. I used to bang my head against the wall, bro. Just 2 years ago, actually, I was living in Tampa, Florida. I'm in Miami now, living on the beach. And 2 years ago, I was living in Tampa, Florida, and I was broke as fuck. My business was down under. I was also out of shape. I was fat. I lost myself a bit. And I realized that it was not that I was not, and I was working the hardest ever. I was in my room all day, making videos, going to the gym, doing this, but I was not aligned with my purpose. I was not in shape. I was waking up every day at 10, 11 in the morning. I was drinking. I was partying on the weekends. I was unhappy with my life because I wasn't seeing the money flow in. And I was so only focused on the cash, but I wasn't focused on becoming the man that I was meant to be. And I was preaching to clients and preaching online of things to do, but I wasn't even following my own damn advice. And then I got on my knees and I begged God to show me a sign and help me. And God moved and changed my heart. And I started waking up every day at 6 in the morning at the time. Now I wake up at 5. Then I was waking up at 6 in the morning, 6:30. I wouldn't scroll my phone. I wouldn't compare my life to others. And I would go straight to doing cardio. I would go walk on the beach because I literally lived on a little island. So walking to the beach was like not even 5 minutes. So I would walk to the beach, do push-ups. I would reflect, open up the Bible app and start reading the Bible. And I would start reflecting on my life and I would start praying to God and I would pray to Jesus Christ and I would ask Him for signs. I would ask Him to change my heart, to give me a new spirit, to give me a new mind, to give me wisdom, to give me encouragement, to propel myself to become the man that I know I'm meant to be. And I felt broken inside and I asked God to help me not feel this way anymore. And I cut out all worldly desires. I cut off all distractions. I cut off all vices and I locked in with my true purpose. I was up every day at 6 to pray to God. I would then go to the gym of the apartment complex and I would do the Stairmaster for 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes even 40 minutes. I was never partying anymore. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped doing all the loser activities. I had no friends. The only person that I would hang out with was my girlfriend at the time. And I was just super locked in that avenue of my life. And that's when my life transformed. I got into the best shape of my life. I was transformed mentally and physically. I became completely shredded. I stepped on a stage, did a bodybuilding show, and that's when everything changed. I went from making 2K a month because I was so fucking broke. At one point I was making 2K in my business, which is not shit. Doesn't even fucking pay your bills. I was so behind. There was moments in time where I was fucking negative $30 in my bank account, where I wasn't even eating food. I couldn't even pay for groceries. I would go to bed crying because I couldn't even figure out how the fuck I was gonna pay for my groceries. Think about that. Think about how sad that is. That is depressing. Who the fuck wants to live that way? Not me, and definitely not you. So that's why I'm making this video, to give you this advice so that you can learn from my lessons and learn, and hopefully this is a wake-up call to you to change your perspective of how you look at business, how you look at life. And if you just put your trust in God, miracles can truly happen. Yes, miracles. Because God does miracles and he can transform you as a person. He doesn't just give you the wishes. He doesn't just grant you all, I'm gonna make money. No, no, no. He makes you work for it the right way. And he shows you the truth, the way, and he's the light. So after that bodybuilding show, I made $7,000 in a month. I was so happy. The next month, $18,000. The following month, 20 grand, 25 grand. Then it got to the point where I started making 50 grand a month in my coaching business. That's not a coincidence, guys. I was doing it my way. And then I started doing it God's way, focusing on my purpose and my path, and that's when my life transformed. Now I wake up every day at 5 in the morning with true purpose and desire. I don't focus on worldly things. I don't try to focus on the money. I don't try to focus on, oh, I gotta buy a Lambo. Bro, it's a fucking Thursday. It's 1 in the afternoon and I'm at the beach. There's some guys right now, you're probably watching this video in your room, banging your head against the wall, trying to figure out how am I gonna make this $10,000 a month. Bro, you have to be so frequently aligned with your goals and purpose that it just flows. Money flows. Money is a tool to propel yourself to do things that you want to do in life. It's all an investment. It's a transaction. I receive money and it leaves my account. It says in the Bible and in Proverbs, and this is why I say to read Proverbs, because it changed my perspective of how I see money. It said in Proverbs that the person that hoards their money, the person that saves their money, and they hold on to it and they're too scared to spend it, is the person that's the most broke. The person that takes the money and invests in themselves, and they go out and give to the poor. They spend their money the right way. They go out. It doesn't mean you go splurge and fucking buy Louis bags and do this. I'm talking about they spend their money the right way and they're not afraid to let go of it. Money flows to them like a river. Let that sink in. The person that hoards their money and only save, and I know lots of guys that are like that. They work 24/7 and all they do is save their money. They don't do anything. They're the most broke. They're the most broke-minded. And their life sucks. I would never trade my life with them. That's a shitty life. The person that doesn't look at money as anything but just something that flows in and out of their account is the one that has their money flow to them like a river. Bro, think of it like this. Here's another perspective for you. When birds are looking for food, you think they're hunting? You think they're stressed about food? No, God provides for them. A lion, you think a lion is stressed out on a daily basis how they're gonna find food? No. God provides for them. They're just strolling, they see a deer, they kill it and they eat. God provided the food for them. Another perspective, maybe this one's a little better for you. When you are on a plane, you're not stressed about, oh, I need to get there. How are we gonna get there? You put your trust in the pilot, right? First analogy. When you're at a restaurant, you're not stressing about how I'm gonna get my food. You order your food and you put your trust in the chef to bring you your food, correct? You're putting your trust in someone and something higher than you that you cannot control. It's the same thing with life. Why are you stressing how to make your next 10,000? Why are you stressing about how your business is going to flourish? Why don't you just trust the man above and he'll provide for you? Just like you trust the chef, just like you trust the pilot, just like you trust the taxi driver when you get into a taxi, you're trusting him to take you to a certain destination. Trust in God to take you to the destination that you're seeking. But put your trust in him. Walk by faith and not by sight. That is the learning lesson for today. That is how you're going to propel your life to greatness, to excellence, by trusting in the Lord. Wake up at 5 in the morning. Open up the Bible and read the Bible. Start with Proverbs. Get a journal. Write down what you are grateful for. You need to be grateful for everything, the good and the bad. Be grateful for the life that God has given you. Do not compare your life to others. Do not doom scroll and compare your life to others, because subconsciously it does. Do not scroll in the morning. Go and work out in the morning. Do cardio or do an actual workout. and it's going to strengthen your mind, your body, your spirit, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and getting closer to God. Then you put in the work, you do what you need to do, and constantly flow, do different things. Go do your favorite activity, go play pickleball, go to the beach if you like it, and you will notice that things just start flowing to you like this. It just flows. Put your trust in the man upstairs. That's the learning lesson for today. Hope you guys stay blessed, stay gangster, and trust in Jesus Christ.